Today is second or third? 2nd of March. Fine. Where we have, see what they are saying, where we have stopped, a quick review about what we have done. Okay, very quickly. We are talking about the ethics. We are talking about the how, what are the different factors we have to consider, how we have to approach the question paper as such. Is it right? Now, what they are saying, continuation to the previous session, the fundamental threats have tested in every sitting. This will be there in every other examination. This is the key part of the syllabus. Okay, they will ask you in section A or section B, either through knowledge base or scenario. The best preparation for questions is to practice as much any questions as possible. Is it right? Now, remember that more than one threat can apply for a given. Means what happens? Don't ever think that there should be a. What are the threats? Are they? Tell me fast. What are ethical threats?
Self-review and self-interest.
Self-review, self-interest.
Advocacy and
Advocacy.
Intimidation.
Intimidation, and last one is
Familiarity.
Familiarity. Yeah, see that you just imagine we are for work. When I am asking this, now I will ask particularly. I will ask with name. Okay, so that you should be. This is the compulsory question that will be there in examination. Okay, now. There will be more than one threat. For example, familiarity and self-interest are often linked and may both applicable. Means familiarity means I know the client. Self-interest means I have more. I will get some additional from income point of view. Is it right? Self-interest means. Remember also that resigning from the audit is last resort. Again, then, because when they say like this, it means that there is a option that they will test this in examination. They will test this in any one of the questions. You have to consider what are the safeguards. Okay, what are the safeguards we have to take into consideration. There is a tendency that students suggest resignation without thinking about possible safeguards. Means if you are giving suggestion, that is the last option. That is not the first option. The last of the last option is suggestion. Without. See, if you come across a question, you put your writings. These are the safeguards. Okay, these are the sequence will be there. You have to put all the safeguards first. Then last option, you have to put that it is going to be a resignation of an auditor. When suggesting safeguards, make sure that relevant scenario to the question. Fine. Coming back to this, what they say. Now,
so if we have two threats applicable to a situation.
Yeah, fine. It will happen.
As mentioned there.
Yes.
Can we mention two of them? I mean, we have to mention two of them if they're linked to one situation.
We can. See, we can do. I told you now, in the given situation, they will, when they give the scenario, they will get some seven threats will be there. 7 threats. You will have self-review will be there. Is that? You will have self-interest will be there. Self-review will be there. Definitely, self-review is nothing but you will have the self-interest with respect to income also. Is it right? You will have hands full of points will be there. But you should not focus more than what is required. You will have, if you have 7 threats, they are asking you 4. Don't think about writing the 5th one.
Okay, so 4 threats only.
Only 4. That's all. I'm telling you this. I will tell you this just before examination also. I will give the same message. If they ask for, write 4. Listen, another carefully. You will ask me this doubt naturally. You will say that if out of 4, 1 will be wrong. Fine, that is a part of the life. You cannot say that I will score 100 out of 100. It's not happen. It never it happens. Is it? It never happens. Maybe you will say that yes, if I write 4, 1 will be wrong, then I will lose marks. Okay, 3 are right now. Think about like that. But 4, if they are asking 4, if you write 5, the problem is not writing 5. The issue is you will run out the time. Here you are writing +1. In another question, you will write -2 points will be there. That's very important. Is that even in other question you will write +1, -1 only. Here you are not gaining anything, but here you will lose. Is it? Always I say, yes, this is the paper where we have to work on time management. You should not leave even 1 mark. You have to attend 100 out of 100. If you attend 100 out of 100, you will get 70. But if you attend 90, automatically you are losing 10 marks. Are you clear about this?
Yeah.
Now, what are acceptance consideration? Issues to consider prior to accepting an engagement from the auditor's point of view. What are the things you should take into consideration before we accept an offer from the client? Okay. Next, once we are talking about management. I'm not saying these are the sequence. I'm just putting for our understanding numbers. That's all. There's nothing like that you have to follow this sequence. There's nothing. Management integrity means you should be whatever is happening, the integrity, independence, integrity from the management point of view, independence from the auditor's point of view. Management has to be very fair. It's like management is, you are giving your car for servicing. When you give a car for services, you will not interfere. You will not interfere. As simple as that. Whatever mechanic says, whatever the person says, you will accept the things. In the same way, when you are giving your financial accounts for audit, you should not interfere. If you say that, whether we are going to tell them that in the car servicing that you have to do like this, you have to do like this. No, we are not going to interfere in any way. The same concept. Understand and apply the same concept. You will understand the subject completely. I will tell this example again and again. You have management integrity. Most of the time, you will think about money laundering. This is one of the issue. It's one of the issue of money laundering. It's a hot topic nowadays. That is the reason for everywhere what you will do, you will ask the evidence. We need evidence. As an auditor, you need evidence. You will say, that is the reason we say disclaimer. We say that it's a disclaimer. We don't know anything. Nothing comes to our notice. Money laundering is money laundering is you have to disclose it without client. If something happens at the client place, you have to disclose to the authorities, external authorities, without taking the permission of the client. Second, you have enough resources. Are we professionally competent? That's very important. Okay, are we professionally competent or not? And most importantly, whenever we are talking, we have experts. To do any exclusive services, to do auditing for any specialized services, we need the service of experts. We should know what are the risk factors. We should know what are the risk factors. Is there controls are there? Controls has to be there. The controls has to be effective controls. Audit risk? We will cover this in a later next we are talking in terms of in detail about audit risk. Fees is very important. Okay, fees you will know they will test you. Okay, they say that 15% of the income of the client. Next, you should have professional competence. Here also we have talking about professional competence. Resources means you will have the most important thing, you will have a good team. Is that you should have a good team. Resources is also in terms of what? Resources is also in terms of time. People will come and say that yes, I want to do this audit within 2 days. They will definitely if you are in the professional life, you will come. These type of questions they will ask. That at the fag end they will come. You are new to the client. When you are new, this is the first year of your first year with the client. In the first year with the client, they will give you a short time. Can we do that? If we are doing, we are having enough resources. We have to think before accepting any engagement offer. We should keep it in mind that we are competent. We have enough resources. Most importantly is that reputation of the client. We will see how the client is. Definitely, we will not take XYZ. Okay, we will scrutinize. We will do that. We will do in the next case. We will have a due diligence. We will see who is the client, how he has a good reputation. We will see whether the outgoing auditor, if he is an existing client, we'll get the review from the outgoing auditor. Those things are preconditions. Okay. Next, preconditions of the audit. Is there any preconditions? Any conditions has been attached? Anything which has been attached to the audit that you have to do like this XYZ? We have to be very clear. We have to get the professional clearance. From whom? Professional clearance with respect to previous auditor, outgoing auditor. If is it right? Outgoing auditor as such. And most importantly, there should be independence and there should be objectivity. This will carry marks. Understand what? This will carry marks. See, ACCA, we have to be very specific about the points. Okay, whichever paper you are doing, is that whichever paper you are working it out, on those things we have to be clear about I will not say shortcuts, but we have to be very clear about the key things that has going to be assessed. Are you clear about this?
Yes.
Is that? Next. Members are entitled. See the thing. These are the things. Members are entitled to advertise services. This will not be asked, but I will not skip the slide. Okay. Members are entitled to advertise service and however, when doing so, advertisement should not bring ACCA into disrepute or being discredited. Fine. See, when you have qualified your ACCA, you will have your visiting card. You can use that you are affiliate member of ACCA. Automatically it adds value. In the letterhead you can use the logo. Once you are an affiliate, you can use the logo. That's what it says. But it should not bring the bad name to the organization. Now, what is the most important thing? We are very much concerned about this. Most companies do not really want an audit, so do not want to pay high price for one. Most of the companies, okay? However, an auditor must ensure, okay, wherever there is, this is the must ensure that they can provide a good quality audit for the price they are paying. This is one of the issues which always trigger in the mind of the client. Okay, in the mind of the client, that how much I should pay fees. This much, because that is the part of the thing. What will happen if you don't submit your audit reports? Your license will get cancelled. Business license will get cancelled. This is the mandatory that yes, you have to submit an audit report. Then only there will be a continuation will there. Many large companies invite tenders for their audit, and fees proposed can determine how much you are going to do work. Is it? 1 minute. Now, coming back to this, is it right? See, fee is the very contagious issue. The issue is which will always be a point of debate. Okay. Now, what they say that, is it right? But if the auditor charge less than the market, see, it all depends. See, when we are saying it is big four, is that big four they will charge? Is that big four they will charge? They'll say that definitely they charge more, but the quality is also more. Is it? The quality is also. See, it is very clearly what is the quality we are giving with respect to audit report. If Big Four is charging more, they recruit credited people. The audit is done by the credited people, and definitely they will provide that much service. Not only service, if you are going to say that your financial statements has been audited by Big Four, definitely it will give a credibility in the market for your company. Is it? Now, some people say that yes, I will charge less. Is that I will charge less. But immediately you have to see what is the quality. If they say if you are charging less than the market value, then definitely they see what is the quality of the work. Are they independent? Are they having a good resources? Okay, are they having a good resource? See, people get attracted. Very simple. It's a part of the system. I will not take the names, but there are so many audit companies are there. Now audit companies are very, very lucrative. Is it right? You are talking about the audit company. They say that yes, people outsource the audit, and we don't know who will audit the accounts. We want certificate. Definitely, we will pay for that. We'll get audited account certificate. Auditor's report is there, and consequently, we will submit that report to the regulatory authorities. But most important, is like a doctor, as simple. See, I will give examples for that. If you go to a quality doctor, qualified doctor, experienced doctor, they charge more, but you get good treatment. If you are paying to a less qualified doctor, definitely you will pay less, the things will not get better. So, we should not compromise. As a client, we should not compromise on the fee structure, because ultimately this amount we are not going from give from our pocket. Whatever the firm is generating, it is going to be paid from on behalf of the business. They are using the audit work as a loss leader to obtain more lucrative taxation or consultancy work. Some people what will do, they'll say that okay, it happens, or you are giving the service for the audit, you will say that I will charge less. The moment I am charging less, you are expecting the auditor will expect that I will get something with respect to tax audit, I will get something with respect to the consultancy services, I will get some more services I will get. Definitely it will help you, it will help me in my business revenue. Then these are the things you have to be very careful. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, Mr. Yeah. Okay.
Before accepting nomination, the auditor should be qualified. They have the resources. They should get the references. As we are giving the references for the CV, we have to get the references of the client. Okay, of the client, and communicate with the present auditors, or I can say communicate with the outgoing auditors. If you have been appointed as a new auditor. Okay. Now, what is the appointment decision chart? See, this is an example of a flow chart. This is an example of documentation. I will ask you this in somewhere in chapter 8 or 7 or 8. Is that this is part of our documentation? Okay, one of the method of documentation is the flow chart. Okay, one of the method. Keep remember this. It will come to our understanding at a later stage. Approach the new audit client. Is this the client first audit? Approach by new audit client. Is the client new first audit? If he say yes, no need to follow professional rules. The auditor can make their own decisions. This is the first step. This is the second step. Is this the audit's first? No. Does client give permission to contact all auditors? This is what I am telling you for the last 2 or 3 slides. Okay, you have to contact with all outgoing auditors. Okay, you have to contact with outgoing auditors. If it is yes, write all the information pertaining to appointment decisions. Fine. If they say yes, does client give permission? You have to take the permission of the client and you have to communicate with the outgoing auditor. If they say yes, write all the information pertaining to appointment sections. Does client give auditor permission to? Client gives all auditor. The client has also give permission to you. The client has also to give permission to the outgoing auditor. If yes, do all auditors provide information relevant to the appointment? Is that if the outgoing auditors provide information to you, if it is yes, you should accept or reject. Fine, you should accept or reject. Now, if does the client come back to this? Okay, if they say that the client give permission, no. Prospective auditor should decline appointment. If the client says that no, I will not give the things, definitely you should not decline the appointment. Is that's all. The story will end here. There is no progress. Okay, there is no progress. Now, from this point of view, if it is no, does client give all auditors permission to reply? The client will not, client is not giving permission to us, new auditors, and client is not also giving permission to the outgoing auditors. Then there is no point of carry forwarding. Thus, we have to make sure that we have to end the discussion here. Understand this, revise this whenever you are doing the things. Is it? Means first you have to, if the first audit, fine. If it is not a first audit, second audit, you should get the permission. You have to approach the new client, the old client. You have to get the response from the old client. Then you have the option accept or reject. But if you are not getting a permission and client is not giving permission to the outgoing auditor, it is outrightly we can decline the appointment. Just go through this once. Is it okay? Fine. Is it clear?
Yes, Mr. Clear.
Fine? No. This is only about acceptance, okay? In detail. After accepting, what you have to do? See, why we are giving this much? In the examination, they will ask which two of the following. Is that I am telling from examination point of view. Which two of the following? They say, they will ask you. Then they will give 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to select which two. Okay? As an auditor, what you have to do after accepting the offer? Ensure outgoing removal or removal or resignation properly conducted. Means as per the removal we have done in the previous lecture, is that the procedures, we don't want to go in detail what are the procedures. We are not covering those things. But what we have to do after accepting if the document, means you have to make sure that the outgoing auditors have been cleared from the job. Ensures new auditor's appointment is valid. It has been taken the approvals, remuneration, terms and conditions, engagements, everything has been valid. Is that everything has been done as per the requirements, as per the rules, terms and conditions. Then agree engagement terms and a submit letter of engagement. It's like a simple thing. It's like an offer. We are offer for a job. Is it for offer for a job? If you agree, you are agreeing, then automatically you give your acceptance. Okay. The first one is after accepting nomination. Getting about after this is not after accepting the offer. Nomination, offer letter. Is it offer letter? Offer letter, that at that point only we have to keep checks and balances. We should know what are the things it has been happened. Once these things are cleared, you have to make sure that outgoing auditor removal has been done properly. We should make sure that the auditor new appointment order is valid. Once we have both the things, then we have to agree what are the terms and conditions, and we have to give our acceptance. What they say? They say in the exam, everywhere, every point they will be from examination perspective. The scenario may relate to potentially new client, and you could be asked the factors an auditor should consider when deciding whether or not to accept appointment. An important consideration is level of risk. How good is the client's current financial position? See, most of the time what will happen, the auditors will resign, the auditors will be removed. Either they will resign or either they will be removed. They follow the procedures, but what happens because of integrity? Is it? Because of integrity, because of fairness. Is it right? Because of fairness. Sometimes what will happen, not sometimes, most of the times, the auditor feel that the client is not preparing the records as per the conceptual framework. Is that they are not preparing as per the conceptual framework. When you are not preparing as per the financial statements as per the conceptual framework, the auditor wish that it is better to resign, and they will give the reason. It's not like they will just, they have to give reason why you are resigning. And auditors are very, very upfront in this, very much upfront. They will never hold the things without revealing. Okay, they will say that because of these reasons, is that because of these reasons we are fine. This is the reason. If you ask me, this is the reason why we take into consideration. Again, we will cover this at a later stage. Always auditor has to give in the audit report whether it is a going concern or not. Going concern means the firm have a financial a good financial position to work for next 12 months. This is one of the this is one of the precondition that the auditors has to mention the factor with respect to going concern. There is one international standards of auditing standard is the 570. We have to mention these things. Okay. Now when I am revising this and I am revising with the standards, automatically by the time we will approach the examination, you will have a basic understanding about the standards also. It will give you additional mark. Next, second point. Second, how strong are internal controls? See, you should have internal controls and you should have effective controls. Okay, just you should not think about controls, but you should also be think that you should have effective controls. People say that there are so many internal controls are there, but effective controls are there, controls are effective. We have to think, because if there is effective controls, what will happen? See the thing, this is the part of risk, is that nobody is going to say that yes, we are going to make risk as zero. It's very, very impossible. Not difficult, it is impossible. Only thing what happens, we are going to minimize the risk. Is that by having controls, by having controls, and if controls are effective, definitely there is a possibility that we can minimize the risk. Is there any evidence of doubtful accounting practices of the client? It happens. Very simple. I am telling you this. Some organizations, some very few organizations are having doubtful, means what is about doubtful accounting practices, without going in that much detail, everything, the rule says that whatever you are doing, it has to be accounted. Got my point? Very simple message. It has to be accounted. It has to be done through the legal channels. Is that if you find doubtful accounting practices, definitely the level of risk will increase. Now, another last and most important, management competent, honest, or having number of desires. Is management competent and honest? Divide the sentence. Or have number of directors resign suddenly. These are the possible options. Okay, you should management has to be competent. Management competent is nothing but you are thinking in terms of board of directors. Now we have done in the previous case board of directors. Board of directors should be elected. Board of directors should be, the composition of board of directors should be both with respect to executive directors and independent non-executive directors. These are the things that have to be considered. Now you can understand, when you are thinking in terms of accepting the appointment, you will also evaluate, you will also see whether board is competent, whether board has knowledgeable persons, whether board is honest. There is a people who are coming in and out of the board of directors frequently. These are the things you will see. Then only you will have an association with that client. Otherwise, you don't want any headache. Very simple. We don't want any headache by dealing with a client who is not fair enough to their approach. The fees earned from the client should reflect the level of risk expected from the audit. Higher risk is higher fee. There is a big questionable debate, isn't it? But the thing is, definitely you are working in, your client is a big MNC, multinational corporation. If the multinational corporation is there, definitely the risk factors will be different, complicated. Finance industry, banking industry, risk is very high. Okay, risk is very high. It's not like that we are talking about the fee. Okay, don't think that we are talking about a higher fee. We should think that the terms in terms of quality of service. Definitely, when we are talking about the higher risk, is it right? We need support from the experts. Is it? We need experts who are specialized in, because we are basically from a financial information, financial knowledge we will have. We have financial skills, but we don't have. If you are talking about aviation industry, definitely you need that. You are talking about energy sector. Here you are talking about energy sector. You are talking about something with respect to automobile sector. Definitely, if we are talking about automobile sector, we have to get experts from automobile sector, hospitals. This is medical industry. You know, pharmaceutical companies are there. Is that like this? You can go on and on. Is that you can go on and on. Definitely, the moment we see the activities of the client, we see that this is a high risk job. Definitely, proportionately, they will not say greater than equal to. Keep it in mind. They are not saying anything greater than equal to. What they are saying that it is higher risk is equal to. This is where the point comes for our discussion. How much fees has to be quoted, how much fees has to be charged, and how much fees has to be paid.
So for the last point, the audit firm will follow like outsourcing practice?
No, what I am saying is, if we need experts.
You mean the audit firm?
Yes, definitely. See, you have an audit firm, but you are doing a audit for the aviation industry. Okay, you are doing an audit for an aviation industry. Yeah, you are doing an audit for a software industry. You are doing audit for a automobile industry. What will happen? Definitely, if you are doing audit for a specialized industry, take example of aviation, airline industry. We need, to some extent, is that we need to have anything related to specialized aviation activity. We are from financial background, but in that case, what happened? The auditor has the right to take the services of the experts to conduct the audit. Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it? The auditors have that. You are talking about anything, banking also. You see, you are talking about the banking. Banking rules and regulations are there. You have bank audit will be there. You have a regulatory, or I don't know, but I'm telling you what my knowledge says. Is that you have bank examiners will be there. They will oversee the things from a different aspect. Is that they will oversee the things from a different aspect. Rules and regulations will be there. Central bank rules will be different. Okay, central bank's rules. You have a compliance department. Is that you have a compliance department? See, if auditor is only he can think from a financial perspective, financial statements perspective. I can put very specifically. But any specialized services, the auditor has to take the services of an expert from the external agencies who are specialized in performing the audit. And this will come, is it at this you see the thing, this will have at least you will have 4 marks somewhere. We will multiple choice questions, we will have 1 question on this. Is that multiple choice MCQ? You will have 1 question on this. That some people, what will happen? Sometimes it is there. Yesterday only I am talking about this. What will happen? I am a finance director. There is 1 question is there. I am a finance director. I will appoint my brother who is expert. But fine, you can appoint to a brother, you can appoint to a relative, no problem. But we have to see. First, you have to see, is it independent? First, you have to see whether he is qualified. You have experience. Is it? You have to see all the things. There is nothing like you are talking about the things. But you should make sure that the person who is appointed as an expert should fit should be matched with the requirements. And most importantly, he has to be independent. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Now, remember this. Do one thing. Okay, I will suggest this. If you are using MS Word, okay, if you are using MS Word, put ISA standards, a file name with ISA standards. Okay, the moment you create one file, just put two columns. Two columns. One column you will put the ISA number, is it right? And the second column you put a brief explanation or description. At the end of the I will go through the things, but slowly and steadily I will show you the shortcuts also. You say ISA 210, type like this, and in the one row they say that ISA 210 talks about what? Agreeing, type like this, agreeing the terms of audit engagements. The moment you will get something here, okay, you will have something at 300, you got something called 315. Is that you will put that in between, you will get something with respect to 260, insert one row and write down here. Insert one row and write down, insert one line and write down, table in the table, insert one row and write down in between. By the time you complete this, okay, I will not say that, by the time you will complete this, there will be at this level, there will be around 12 to 15 standards. This will be your personal notes. This will be your personal notes as well. Automatically you will say, and in the examination, make it sure. If you mention this, the marks will be given straight away. I am telling you on record. It is recording. They will give you marks. They will know that yes, you know the subject. Agreeing the terms of audit. The objective of the auditor is to accept or continue, and only when the basis on which it is carried out, establishing with the preconditions of the audit. What are the preconditions? Preconditions of the audit is this. Is that preconditions of audit is what? Preconditions of the audit is how it is going to happen. Okay? When you are going to be, first you have to think from the non-audit perspective, then we have to think from the audit perspective. Is it right? When you have to think from the audit perspective, yes. If you are having resources, then you have to communicate with the external auditors. We have to get the response. These are the preconditions. Is that once you are making sure that preconditions for an audit are present, that there is a common understanding between wherever there is bold letters, these are the keywords. In the examination also, I am telling you for every paper you are doing by computer based examination. In one page, in one answer, every paragraph, these are the techniques, okay? These are the one paragraph. You can put bold the one word which is you think. There is no hard and fast rule that whatever you are doing that will be the keyword. Your understanding says this keyword, make it keyword. One or two maximum in each paragraph. Okay, 4 or 5 sentences, make it bold. Automatically that gives you message that yes, these people are students know how to present the things in the examination. Then they come between your auditor and a management of the terms and engagement. Means they are not talking about, means there should be a common understanding, there should be a broader framework. We are not going into detail. What is the common understanding? When you say common understanding in terms of what is the scope of work. Okay, so common understanding is what is the scope of work. Common understanding is what is the fee structure. You should ask what are the examples of common understanding. what I am going to do, very important. Is it I am going to do external audit? Yes. I am talking about fee structure. Fine. That is a common understanding. I have to submit the report. I have to, what is the common understanding? What is the time frame? Is it what is the time frame? It's a common understanding. Yes, I have to submit my audit report by 15th of March, by 10th of March, by 5th of March. That is the message you should have. Subsequently, what you are doing, that will come at a later stage. Is that the what is the rule? The ISA 210. What is ISA 210? I will ask this randomly. Randomly, I will ask, agreeing the terms of audit engagements. Okay. It says that what are the preconditions of the audit? The use of management as an acceptable financial reporting framework. See, when you are talking in terms of audit, is it at first thing what will say? They will say that this has been, if you take the audit of our own country, they will say that we are following the rules and regulations of commercial company law. Is that we are following commercial company law. This is commercial company law. Then they will say that we are following international accounting standard. Then we will follow international financial reporting standards. Nowadays, few companies say that they are following ethical standards also. Few companies say that they are talking about corporate governance also. People are there, they will mention, you see the different annual reports, they are talking about the corporate social responsibility also. But more importantly, what is the first thing that comes into our framework? You should follow the national law and you should follow the international standard. Is that preparation of financial statements and agreement of the management? They say that where appropriate, this is again charged with governance. Who are responsible? Is it at that level? Is it at that level who are responsible, who are charged with responsible? Those people have accountability. Accountability is nothing but it has to be responsive. You should not, I am giving you responsibility, but in turn you have to be, get back to me, you have to give the answers for that. Okay, you have to provide whatever happening, it has to be two-way approach. Okay, that is what we are talking about, accountability. Is that these are the what are the preconditions of the audit? Preconditions of it are that it has to be done as per the financial reporting framework. I send you that in the group. Okay, I am again saying people will take students will take very lightly when they are talking about these things. Is that this is the most simplest way of understanding financial reporting framework. Going concern, elements of financial statements, everything will be there. Is there elements of financial statement, assets, what are the assets, what are the liabilities, what is the revenue, what is the expenses, what is the profit and loss. You should know that we are doing as per the requirements and it has to be agreed with the management and who are charged with the governance. How does the auditor determine whether preconditions have been met? Whether the financial framework is acceptable. Is a financial framework is obtain management that they acknowledge and understand the rest. You should also ask is the management. You should see why we are saying obtain management agree. Whenever there is any issue, we are going first and foremost. We will discuss with the management. Either we will discuss with the management. Is there any audit issue with the management, or we will discuss with whom? The people charged with the governance. Is it? Now, when you are talking about the management, very specifically, who are the management? Board of directors are the strategic people. Why we have to know about the management? Because 3 points are there. We are repeating the same thing. Okay, we are not working. We are just having more clarity on this. Because those people prepare financial statements in accordance with the framework. And those people are responsible for whom? Internal controls. Because if you take the internal controls, internal auditor. The management will appoint internal auditor. Internal auditor is the employee of the company. Internal auditor, what they will do? He will his one of the responsibility is he will have to identify the deficiencies and to implement the internal controls. See, subsequently, if it is internal auditor is appointed by the management. That is the reason management should internal control that is necessary to enable preparation of financial statements. Providing the auditor with access to all relevant information. We cannot hold any information from the auditors. I told you, this is the best. Understand the subject with examples. It makes things easy for us. It makes things easy for you. You are going for a doctor. You will ask, the doctor will not, they will prescribe you. You will question that why you are using this medicine. No, we will not question why we are using the medicine. Whatever the doctor prescribes, we will take it blindly. We will take it blind. We never question. He is giving you some IV saline. Okay, we will not question that why you are doing. We will just accept it very blind. Is that means that is all. You have to. The auditor has to be provided all information, relevant information. If there is any additional information that auditor may request, any and with unrestricted access to relevant entity stuff. If you read this sentence, you will come into that the auditor has a unrestricted access, should have unrestricted access to basically to the anything related to financial statements. Is there anything related to finance? You should have a complete access. That's why the reason they say these are the preconditions. You cannot say that I am giving you an assignment, I am giving you an access, but I will not provide you information. When I am giving you a task, I should provide all the information. Is that I should provide all the information. That is the one of the terms of the engagement. What if the preconditions of the audit are not present? What is the alternative? What they say, discuss with the management. Do not accept the engagement if financial framework is not acceptable. Is that you should not accept the engagement. You should not accept the offer. It's not our management agreement there. It acknowledges and understands the responsibilities have not been obtained. See, ultimately, it's very simple. Message is very clear, is it right? If you are not following, now you can understand how important is the conceptual framework. How important are debits and credits, as simple as that. Is that as important? How is debits and credits? If a profit-oriented organizations, is it right? Means if it is not done as per the conceptual framework, you should not accept the offer. Fine. If preconditions have been met, then the audit can accept as an audit engagement letter issued. Now, what will be there in audit engagement letter? Just now we have done. They have mentioned one of this. What is the objective? What we are doing, and what is the scope? Objective is you will have various multiple objectives. One of the objectives is I am talking about the external auditor. Is that one of the objectives is we are dealing with whom? We are dealing with the financial statements. You just remember, again I am doing a revision for this. You just remember CREST. Is that you just remember CREST. It all gives you the complete picture about the things. Next, scope of the audit. Is that what is financial statements, and scope of the audit is what we are doing in the financial statements. Income statement, financial position and related things. What is the auditor's responsibility? How we are, what auditors will do and what auditors will not do. If you are saying that it is financial statements, we are talking in terms of what? We are talking in terms of materiality. We are talking in terms of true and fairness. Is it? We are talking in terms of giving the audit report. That is the responsibilities of the audit. Is right? That's why we have to be very clear what we are doing. Financial statements, materiality. Is that true and fairness? Is that the auditor's responsibility is we have to mention whether it is a going concern or not. What is the management responsibility? Management responsibility is to provide access to information. Is it access to financial statements related information? Is it right? Financial statements and related information. Management has to provide. We have to know what is the applicable financial reporting framework. When we say applicable, we will say that ISA is there, IAS is there, is it? IFRS is there. But also we have to make sure that, always we have to make sure that whether, most importantly, people will forget about this. We have to follow the national law. Because reason, I will give you now more reason. See, when I'm establishing my firm, when you are establishing your firm, the first thing is we will get permission from the local national authorities. Okay, first you work with national authorities. You have to follow the national rules first. Then you have to follow the international rules. Slowly what will happen? Slowly the firm will grow. Okay, slowly the business will grow. Slowly the business will grow. They will find first. I take an example. First, whether you are a sole trader or you are a partnership, is that you are a LLC or you are a public limited company, PLC. Is that first and foremost, wherever you have to get registered, in all the cases, what happens? I'm writing like this. You have to follow the national laws. Subsequently, at the fag end, okay, at the fag end, you will become a multinational corporation. Now, what it says that when you are doing this, we not only we have to follow the national laws, but why we follow international? Because in some cases or others, you will have exports, you have imports. You have to interact with the other part of the world. Is that you have to interact with the other part of the, and most importantly, you should have some consistency. Is it right? We use the word, it is an accounting word. Is it right? We use the word harmonization. We use you come across, you are talking in terms of an income statement. Is it right? You are talking in terms of an income statement. You are talking in terms of statement of financial position. Wherever go, you will have only one definition for asset. Wherever you go, you will have one definition for non-current assets. You have one definition for current assets. Wherever you go, there is a liability. Equity means equity. You will not have two definitions. Is that you will not have two? That is the reason when we are talking about the things, we will say that first in financial reporting framework, one of the financial reporting framework talks about what? Talks about the elements. There are 5 elements are there. Whichever business, wherever it is done, everyone will have the same understanding. Everyone will have the same understanding. Assets will be there, liabilities, expenses means expenses. Capital expenditure means capital expenditure. Revenue means revenue expenditure. We will not have any conflicting understanding between the definition. Expected form and content of any reports to be issued by the auditor. Fine. The form and content. Okay, how the reports has, see, reports, how the audit report has to be there. Is that what is the structure of the audit report? We have to be very clear that these are the things that has to be reflected in audit report. This will come somewhere in the last chapter 12. Is that they will come in terms of what? In terms of review and reports. In review and report, they will say that how the format of the audit report. I can say what is the format, what is the content of the audit report. Keep this in mind. Whenever we are coming back in detail, I will give more related information on that. Okay, these are the preconditions of an audit have been met. Then the audit can be accepted. What are the audit engagement letter? Objective, scope, responsibility, auditor's responsibility, management responsibility, financial reporting framework, and the presentation of the report and its content. What are the other matters included in an audit? You should give some more details. Is it right? You should give some more details. I'm not saying complete details, some more details. We'll come to form any other communication of any other communication of results. See, auditors will submit the audit report to whom they will submit the audit reports to the management, and in turn management will submit the audit report to the shareholders. Fine. That is a form of communication. If you are taking any other, this is only pertaining to what? This is only pertaining to the financial statements. Yeah, only pertaining to the financial statement. You should make it sure that is there any other communication. We should not keep any other channel. Very simple. We should not keep one channel. Only one channel to the people who are charged with governance. Inherent limitations of the audit from both management. See, when you are talking about from both management side as well as the auditor side. See, what are inherited? You will not have effective controls will not there. That is the inherent risk. Okay, you don't have effective control. Then what will have? You have an inherent risk is there. Every task, keep it in mind, every task, every activity, every job, every individual will have some limitations. We cannot say that we will deliver the product with 100% accuracy. Inheritance limitations will vary from client to client and from situation to situation. Okay, situation to situation. Now, what we are doing, the next one, arrangement regarding planning. This is where we are going to end this chapter, and this is the way we are going to cover this in the next and subsequent chapters. Is it right? You should be clear about an audit planning. Once you have taken the offer, fine, that's good. But once you take up the offer, what will happen? You should know how to start. What are the things you should consider? How to do the audit? Before audit, during audit, after audit. Understand, point? These are very minor, very micro level. Is that we have to know what we have to do before starting an audit. I am writing very clearly. Before starting the audit, is it what we have to do during the audit, is it, and what we have to do after completion of the audit. Is that we should be very clear. Is that we have to plan. Yes, it's not like that one fine day we will wake up and we'll say that we are going to the audit of some company. Before the audit, we should know the environment, know the company, know the clients, know the job what we are doing. We have to get sufficient resources. We have to get a team. Everything has to be in place. Then only we have to initiate the audit. Is that we should know that these are the things are there. That is audit planning. One chapter exclusively for audit planning. Is that one chapter exclusively for audit purpose? And regarding the arrangement, regarding the planning and performance. Definitely planning will leads to performance, how we are going to execute. Expectations of return representations. Any idea about this?
No.
There is one standard ISA 580. ISA 580. Return representations related to reference. See what happens. See, there are two ways of getting communication. Listen carefully. Two ways of getting information. One information we are getting from internal sources. One information we'll get from external sources. If you are good here, next chapters you will find it very easily. Is that when the topic will come, I will explain you. Okay, when the topic will come, I will explain you. Here, what happened? There are two ways. First we have to get the communication. Now, what we are doing? The rule says that we have to get sufficient, and appropriate. Is that sufficient and appropriate in evidence? Okay. Now, when we get sufficient and appropriate evidence, definitely we'll explore all the options. The rule says that when we are talking in terms of sufficient and appropriate, we'll see internal and we'll see external. Okay. Internal sources are weak. External sources are more reliable. I'm not saying strong. Okay. I'm not saying complete. I'm not saying more reliable. We can put less reliable. You will come across many instances. Where you need information. A simple example, I will write it as an example, very common example which will be tested in the examination. More, you want a confirmation of bank balance. When you have the confirmation of very common example which will be tested in the examination. Bank balance. You will get the bank balance from the client, his bank book. You will also approach a bank. Okay, you also approach a bank. You will get a direct confirmation from the bank. Now you can understand the simple methodology. What will happen? You are getting it from the client, internal. This is internal. This is external. Remember, whatever is happening, every class is related to examination, and every class will give you minimum 5 marks, 2 marks, something is there. Is it? External. Now what happens? You will get internal communication and also you will get external. Whatever the internally, assume the internal communication, the balance is 200,519. We want to verify the external communication is 20519. We never realize, isn't it? Always this is the written representation. The auditor has the right, with the permission of the client, to go to approach and bank any third party. I will not say bank, I will say any third party. Any third party to get a return confirmation. It happens with respect to inventory, it happens with respect to receivables, it happens with respect to payables, it happens with respect to the assets, anything which have taken, everything, wherever there is a possibility, you have to get return confirmation from the, if any legal cases are there, then you have to get a written representation from the lawyers also. If it is complicated, if it is material, then you have to get the written representation. It is a part of the audit job. This is very, very important word. Expectations of written representations from the management. And I will write from the third. And once we say, then they will have internal sources of and external sources. Which standard we are using? We are using IAS 580. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes, Mukhid, Laila and Gaita. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir. Yes, Master.
Okay? See the thing. Slowly and steadily work out on the things. It makes things vary. What are the other methods which may be, this is optional. Is it? This may be optional, which may, agreeing management to provide draft financial statements. Is it? Draft financial statements is nothing but unaudited financial statements. Agreeing with the management to inform auditor fact that anything which is affecting financial statements, from the date auditor report to date and issue of financial statements. See the thing. There will be a reporting date. Okay? There will be a reporting date. There will be at some point auditor will sign. Okay? And the financial statements will be issued. Is that financial statement? These are all the things. Is that? Means reporting date, from our point of view, reporting date will be the last, this 31st December of the year. It will take some time to auditor sign. Then it will be issued. It will be issued before 30th April. It will be issued before 30th April. Okay? Now, what happens? Agreement of management to inform auditor of facts that may affect financial statements from the date of auditor report to date of issue. Anything happens, is that anything happens from here to here. Anything happens, it happens. So many issues. We will cover this in detail. We will cover this. Is that if something happens, some material, I'm not saying anything related to financial statements, anything related to material. Material means it value. Then they have to inform. At this point, they will be change. If there is a possibility of changing, modifying, then it will come into picture. Means till it has not been issued, the auditors in one way or other is part of the activity. Fees and billing arrangements. When terms and conditions, when you have to pay how much advance, how much during the audit, and how much after completion, how much, all the things has to be very clear. Request from management to acknowledge receipt of the letter. Definitely it is a both sides agreement. Involvement of other auditors and experts. Are you clear about this? Is it right? These are the other options, okay? These are the other things which has to be clearly mentioned. Other matters, now you can count. Other matters which include in audit engagement is involvement of internal auditors and other staff wherever it is needed, okay? Arrangement to be made with previous auditor if any doubts are there, any clarifications are there. Is there any other auditors you have to communicate with the previous auditor? Restrictions of auditors liability, any liability in terms of any activity which will force to take into consideration the financial aspects, okay? Payments are very important. You should not postpone the payments. You should not delay the payments. Is it right? Reference of any arrangements we want to do or other things, and obligations to provide working papers. What does it mean? Any idea about this? Fine. You are new, okay? There are two types. Again I am saying there are temporary working papers and they are permanent. Okay, there are two types of that. They are temporary and they are permanent. Temporary work permit. See what happens. What is the working papers? Simple concept. Working papers. See, you are going for an audit. Okay, you are going for an audit. You will have some notes related to. Okay, you will take some notes related to the audit. Okay, related to the financial statements. Is it right? Those notes will definitely help you. Will help. Not only you. Will help the auditor. Will help the team. Is an audit team which help the audit team. We are going as a team. Okay, what will happen? Somebody will inventory, somebody will payable, somebody will receivable, somebody will be sales. We are doing different activities. Okay, different audit activities. Now what will happen? We will work out whatever is happening. We will write down the thoughts. See the auditors who will visit to your workplace. They will write lot of notes. Is that they will write lot of notes, and they want something. They have all the doubts. Is there something they will clarify, something they will not clarify? These things, whether it is there is an obligation to provide these to other parties. Again, when you are doing the things, this will come under the category of what? Under the category of confidentiality. We will cover what are the temporary working papers and what are the permanent working papers. Is that right? Next, in the next few cases, is that in the next few chapters, in the coming chapters we'll cover that. Is that this is other matters may be included. Keep it in mind. May be included in the audit engagement letters. They gave you a summary of this. Is that new work and the engagement letter. Obtained work by tender, but if you are giving by recommendations, you are getting from tender. If you are getting from tender, unknown person, is that has risk, needs thorough research and preparation. If it is by recommendation, communicate with the outgoing auditors, assess the independence of the firm, management, assess commercial desirability, fee structure, and the details of engagement letter. Once it is done, what are our responsibilities, scope of audit, legislations and the standards, conceptual framework, what are the inherent risk, limitations of the audit, you have what communication will take place during the audit, specific planning issues, use of internal audit, deadlines, use of experts, and most importantly, basis for fees. If you come across slides like this, it gives you a summary about what we have done. But don't rely only on the summary. Understand what? Don't rely only on the summary. Never see audit any paper. We cannot say just we are going for anything. In the examination, what we will miss The same thing will be there. Okay. Finally, agreeing the terms on a recurring means on the renewal. These factors might require to be revised. Any indication that the entity misunderstands the objective and scope, anything there is gaps, okay? Any revised or special terms, a recent change in the senior management, is that these are means any change in management, any change in significance in the ownership structure, is it? In the ownership structure means if it is, you can think only with respect to sole trader, partnership, LLC, and is it right? If there is any change in ownership, definitely we should, because ownership changes, the management approaches also, the management approach will also have some changes. A significant change in the size, nature or size of the business means any diversification they have done, growth, is right? Growth, diversification. See, this is one of the important element, because as an auditor you should know the client, you should know the environment, is right? You should know the environment, you should know the competitors, is it? You should know the client, you should know the environment, you should know the competitors. That is very important. That is the reason we are, first and foremost, you should know these things. A change in legal or any new rules came, we have to keep us updated. A change in financial reporting framework, see, off and on, okay, off and on, what will happen? IAS and IFRS will be keep updating. See, this is the difference between a normal course and a professional course. In the normal academic course, we are not talking about any updation. But in the professional course, we have to keep. That is the reason they will come up every 3 months. There will be now if you have your emails, is it right? In your emails, the moment you register, they will send you updates, what's happening, what's not happening. With respect to anything related to accounting globally, what are the developments? Is it? We have to keep that one. Apart from that, I am telling you from examination point of view, there will be some technical articles will be there. The moment you get your registration in your portal, they will give you access for technical articles. When we are coming around 1 month, don't be just before examination, okay? You could not do that. Just 1 month before examination, read these technical articles. Only read, that's all. Because from the technical articles, the same thing we are covering here. I'm not saying that technical articles will be completely different. No. The same thing we are covering here. From technical articles, examiners will test you. Okay? Almost. I'm again saying, don't get confused. Whatever we are covering in the syllabus, the same thing will be there. But how it has been interpreted during current scenarios. We'll say that yeah, technical articles are, people will ask, students will ask technical, people will not read technical articles at all. If you have, because examiners will say very clearly, review technical articles, technical articles will give you some edge. I'm telling you, it gives you some edge, some additional advantage, that's all. Fine. Now that is the reason, a change in financial, a changes in any other reporting requirements we have to make. Previously, I will say like this, is it right? Previously, what is the changes? I will tell you. Previously, you have IAS 18. What is IAS 18? IAS 18 talks about revenue. Now they have replaced IAS 18 with what? IFRS 15. Now IAS 18 is no longer exists. It has been replaced by IFRS 15 with respect to revenue. Some changes will be there. Those changes you should be clear what are the things that has been there previously and what. This is only one example I am giving. The moment you do financial reporting, you do strategic business reporting, you will come across all these issues as such. Agreeing that terms of audit engagement is more likely come in the section A, and short knowledge based on the requirement with respect to planning and professional ethics will be in section B. Are you clear about this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Mr.